All right, so your child agent is created and totally ready to be invoked. But what exactly happens next? To build truly reliable AI architectures, we really need strict boundaries. We have to define exactly what goes into the agent, how it executes its tasks, and what kind of structured data flows back to the parent orchestrator. Let's look at exactly how we control this entire lifecycle.
In this explainer, we're going to trace the exact technical lifecycle of a user request as it moves through the system. We'll start by locking down instructions and tool scoping. Then we'll map how data actually enters through child agent inputs. From there, we'll look at how to handle any missing data gracefully, extract our agent outputs, and finally, determine those critical post-completion trigger behaviors. Let's jump right into the instruction logic.
Okay, Section 1, Instructions and Tool Scoping. Remember, while an agent's description controls the routing, meaning when the agent is actually called, the instructions dictate the execution. That means they control how it behaves once it's actively running.
When the parent orchestrator routes a request to the child agent, it essentially passes the baton so the instruction execution can take over. Now, what's incredibly powerful about this is how we can tightly dictate that execution. Inside the instructions field, you can actually use a / to reference tools right in line. For example, say you're building a logistics system. You might want your order status child agent to always run an order lookup tool the literal second it's invoked, rather than leaving that choice up to the AI's discretion. But heads up, this level of control does introduce a real risk of system failures if we aren't super careful about tool visibility.
This brings us to managing tool conflicts, which is absolutely crucial. A massive architectural pitfall happens when a parent orchestrator hijacks a tool that was meant specifically for a child agent. Think about it. If an order lookup tool is added to the child, but you leave it visible to the parent might just bypass the child entirely and call the tool itself. It's like having an overzealous micromanager. To avoid this orchestrator bypass, you absolutely must open the tool's details and clear the Allow Agent to decide dynamically when to use this tool property. Turning that off forces explicit invocation. By simply clearing that setting, we enforce a very specific, explicit invocation flow. The parent routes to the child, and only the child can access that specific tool. The architectural reasoning here is a real game changer. By isolating tools and knowledge exclusively to the child agent, we purposefully shrink the parent orchestrator's decision matrix. A highly focused parent orchestrator drastically improves routing accuracy, mostly because the AI is now matching user intents against a much smaller, much better defined set of options. So now that we've set up a secure, scoped environment, how does the data actually get inside?
Let's move over to Section 2, Defining Child Agent Inputs. Look, simply passing a user's raw natural language message, something like, "Hey, where's my package?" is just not enough for an exact system query. We need structured inputs. Before the child execution can even think about starting, the parent has to extract conversational context and map it to a strictly defined, structured input. The operational impact here is massive. Imagine a fintech automation setup. You can force the parent agent to extract a highly specific formatted transaction ID before the refund processing child agent is even allowed to wake up and run. Without that required structured input, the child agent treats it as a non-negotiable prerequisite. It flat out will not execute a blind database lookup.
To pull off that level of control, every input relies on 4 core properties. Your display name and data type are pretty straightforward, right? It's your label and your format, like text or Boolean. Checking required makes it a hard prerequisite for execution. But the absolute most critical property here? The description. This description provides the actual context for the parent orchestrator. A high-quality description like the customer's order number formatted as ORD followed by exactly 6 digits literally prevents the parent from hallucinating data types or making incorrect matches. But of course, we have to account for edge cases. What happens when the parent simply can't extract that valid data from the user? Which leads us to Section 3, Handling Missing Input Data. Let's be real. The reality of deploying AI architectures is that users almost never give you exactly what you ask for on the very first try. We need robust, automated fallback mechanisms to handle unpredictable prompts.
This is where the missing data loop comes in, which you configure in your advanced inputs. It follows a clean 4-step process. Step 1. Prompt the user directly for the missing info. Step 2. Validate their answer against a specific condition you set. Step 3. Count your reprompts so you don't trap the user in an infinite loop. And Step 4. Take action if the input remains empty. Let's frame this with a BPO automation scenario. If a user types an invalid account format, this loop kicks in.
triggers validation rules, reprompts them, say a maximum of 3 times, and then cleanly escalates to a human agent rather than just silently failing in the background.
The whole architectural reasoning for these specific settings boils down to one word: delegation. By configuring these fallback steps down at the child level, we completely prevent burdening the parent orchestrator with endless validation logic. The child just handles its own data collection natively. Okay, so our child agent has successfully collected its data, executed its specific instructions, and used its tightly scoped tools. How do we get the results back?
Let's shift our focus from data ingestion to data extraction here in Section 4, structuring agent outputs. If inputs control what goes into the system, then outputs define the structured values that finally close the operational loop.
Upon child completion, a structured output is immediately generated and mapped right back into the parent orchestrator's variables. When a child agent is called via a topic redirect, these output values automatically become available as topic variables in the parent the second the child finishes its job. From an architecture standpoint, this design drastically reduces latency in multi-agent handoffs because you completely eliminate the need for extra clunky mapping steps.
Once the parent gets its hands on those structured outputs, it typically uses them in 3 primary ways: crafting the very next user response, evaluating logic conditions, or feeding subsequent child agents. Consider a GovTech architecture handling civic permits. The permit lookup child agent returns an output flagging that a permit has expired. The parent evaluates that logic condition and immediately routes the user's session over to a completely different renewals department child agent. Pretty seamless, right? But routing the user to a new department is just one option. Returning data to the parent is really only half the job.
Which brings us to our final section, post-completion trigger behaviors. The back-end data exchange is all wrapped up, but the system now has to figure out the very next user-facing action.
You actually have 4 exact after-running trigger options to dictate that final action. If the child's data is just quietly feeding another background process, simply choose Don't Respond. If you want a conversational, flexible vibe, generative AI crafts completely natural replies using the output context. But let's say you're building a highly regulated fintech app returning a payment confirmation. In that case, you absolutely want specific response so you can send a fixed, legally compliant text template. Or, alternatively, if you're tracking a complex logistics shipment, an adaptive card is totally perfect for rendering that detailed, tabular output in a clean, structured visual layout.
As we wrap up this architecture breakdown, I really want you to reflect on this one crucial question. How does your input-to-output data flow ensure AI reliability without compromising the user experience? By tightly scoping tools to prevent orchestrator bypass, enforcing strictly defined inputs and fallback loops, and mapping structured outputs to deliberate trigger behaviors, we build intelligent systems that don't just guess, they execute predictably and accurately. Keep these structural boundaries at the absolute forefront of your mind as you design your next AI architecture.